I know alles.
How's it going, everybody? This is Tom Driver. I hope you're having a great day, and welcome back to another video. Alright folks, so I haven't been entirely happy with myself lately, and unfortunately that has a lot to do with my hair. Now obviously I used to have a really good amount of hair, but as I've grown older, for some reason I've been losing my hair at a much younger age than I thought I would. In fact, usually most of the time you would be losing hair once you reached your 40s or your 50s or something like that, not in your 20s, and for some reason I'm just really confused as to why. So for this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit about my hair loss and just really being honest about it, and really just go over why for some reason a lot of young men are losing hair at a much earlier age than they really should. Because to be honest with you, I've been a little confused in regards to my hair loss since I turned 18 years old, and so I'll share with you a little bit about that here. Now obviously I used to have a really big full head of hair, and obviously I used to be very proud of that. I usually would just shower all day and really just clean it up a lot, and obviously my hair would look just fine. Obviously there would be some strands that were falling in the shower sometimes, but obviously wherever I went, whether it was at home or at school or at work or anything like that, I did have a really good amount of hair on my head, and obviously I just felt very proud of myself. But after I turned 18, for literally some apparent reason, my hair just seemingly started to just fall off, and I really question why I really am losing hair at this young of an age. Like I said before, usually the prime age for those to begin losing their hair will be around their late 40s or their 50s or something like that, but not in my 20s obviously, and that's really what me really confused, especially since both my dad has a toupee, and also a lot of my other uncles, they're bald as well, and I really don't want to end up like them. So I've really just been looking around in the mirror and also just taking a look at everything, and I'm really just questioning as to why I feel like I've been losing hair at this young of an age. And really I think like a few reasons as to why is maybe I'm just showering a little too much every day. Now obviously, as I mentioned before, I shower literally every day because literally I want to at least look clean and good every single day. So usually whenever I wake up in the morning, I usually go in the shower, and I would take my shower, and obviously I would just clean up, and then obviously I would just go about with the rest of my day. But for some reason I don't know if that's really part of the reason why I've been losing this much hair. Obviously whenever I'm putting my shampoo on and just getting it washed or something like that, for some reason I'm having a whole lot of hair strands just fall off of me, and obviously I just get a little bit confused because I really thought that my hair was supposed to stay for as long as possible until obviously I reach the age where I'm really supposed to start losing hair. I mean, I don't know if maybe it has a lot to do with the follices, that I'm just absorbing a little bit too much of the shampoo and stuff like that, but I just don't know why that happens. I mean, yeah, it's normal for you to lose a couple of strands of hair obviously, but usually most of them will obviously grow back. However, for some apparent reason with mine, obviously while it's not completely prevalent, for some apparent reason a lot of it just keeps falling off, and for some reason it just never grows back for some reason. I mean, I really do not understand as to why, so maybe I'm just showering a little bit too much. And obviously studies have shown that even if you're supposed to shower every day, which I absolutely do, sometimes that can play a big factor into losing a lot of hair. So I don't know, maybe I have to be a little bit more careful and really just try to not shower as long as I really should be, and really just try to take a few minutes every day just to make sure that my hair is clean. But obviously I do question why my shampoo is really causing the hair loss that it is right now. The second thing is that maybe it's because I'm just brushing my hair a little bit too much. I mean, for some reason I really like to have a really good clean head of hair obviously. Like I said before, not only do I shampoo every day, but as soon as I get out of the shower, one of the first things that I do is that I'll usually just brush my hair afterwards, just so that way it looks neat. But obviously it's not just after I get out of the shower, even like after I go out for my walks obviously, and I come back and I just feel like I need to brush my hair because the wind obviously was playing a big factor and just blowing my hair obviously. However, for some apparent reason I also see like a huge couple of strands from my head just ending up on my brush, and for some apparent reason, I don't know if that's permanent or not, and obviously that leaves me a little bit confused as well. Obviously, the more you brush your hair, the more likely that you are going to lose a couple of strands or so, and at least one or two of those follicles could potentially end up being permanent. And so obviously, maybe I just need to stop brushing a whole lot after I get out of the shower and, really just leave it for the day afterwards. But again, usually my hair grows long because usually I only get a haircut once a year. So maybe I just need to take, at least like 2 a year, just so that way I make sure I don't end up with those kinds of struggles. Now, I also don't have a hair dryer, and that obviously may have a huge factor in this thing as well. But obviously, I do feel like that, my hairbrush is playing a big role in this as well. And so obviously, I do feel like that I need to really just be careful whenever I'm brushing my hair. Finally, for whatever apparent reason, I think the third reason why is just maybe I'm just not taking as much care of it as I really think I should. I mean, obviously, I really want to have a full head of hair because usually that's when I feel confident and really good about myself. But for some reason, like I said before, the last few years, I've just lost a whole lot of hair. And so obviously, maybe I'm just not being good enough in regards to caring for my head. There's been some times, where my hair has grown so long that, sometimes whenever I'm struggling to brush it, I would just have to get a beanie and just put it on because I really felt like that it was really bothering me. And whenever I take it off, whenever I get home, I do see at least 1 or 2 strands, maybe more of that underneath my beanie. And obviously that could be a little bit of concern as well. And so obviously, I'm more concerned about that. Plus, it also messes up my hair just a little bit as well. And obviously, there are a whole bunch of other things too. Obviously, going out in the rain a lot, and as a result, I have to shower again, and sometimes when it's just too hot, I just get sweaty a whole lot, obviously, that does mess with my hair a little bit as well. And so, obviously, I do feel like that, maybe it's because I'm just not taking good care of myself, obviously, I should prioritize my hair a lot more. And so, obviously, like I said, I'm 27 years old, and obviously, being this young, I really should not be losing hair this early on, but I'm obviously not the only one. There's an epidemic here where there are a bunch of young people like me that are obviously losing a lot of hair, and it just gets me really confused. But obviously, there are still a whole lot of treatments, obviously, for me to be able to take care of that, and that's something that I've really been trying to find out very soon. Obviously, one of those is, like hair loss pills. Obviously, it's just getting some, pills from your nearby pharmacy and really just taking a couple of pills and really just it'll grow your hair back. Obviously, I don't know if that will work, but obviously I've been looking at maybe doing that at some point. And also, there's like foam. Obviously, I believe there was like one commercial that I saw which you really just put some foam on the back of your head or maybe in the front of your head, and obviously it grows your hair back again. Obviously, there have been studies to show that it does work. However, again, I just don't know for sure. And then there's like like medical treatments, obviously. So obviously, like maybe there's a time where you just have like a helmet on, which obviously you wear for a few hours, and then obviously for a few days, obviously it'll help with growing your hair back, or maybe just getting like hair transplant surgery. Obviously just getting a hair transplant. Obviously that's been the most popular form to really get your hair back. But again, I'm just trying to figure out how I can eventually get my hair back, because the one thing that I will say is that I really do not want to end up being bald like my dad did and ultimately end up getting a toupee, because I do not feel good with a toupee, and ultimately I don't want to end up bald entirely. So yeah, the reason why I'm sharing this is because I feel like that there's really an epidemic out there in which there are a lot of young people that are losing their hair way too early, and I just feel really confused about that, especially since I'm ending up like one of those people as well. And really, I'm just being honest with myself. Maybe it's because I'm not taking care of my hair entirely, and because of that, that's the reason why I may be losing my hair, or maybe it's just a whole bunch of other factors as well. But again, I really just do not want to lose all my hair, and so obviously, as soon as I move out, I'm going to try everything I can so that way I can not only have a full head of hair again, but also be proud of myself as a result. Again, this is just me. I know there's a whole lot of other people that are also going through the same thing as well, but obviously, hair loss is no joke, and sometimes that can really be a midlife crisis. So if you're ending up in that situation, hey, do your best to take care of your hair. If you feel like you have to go bald, then obviously it's best to just shave it all off. But otherwise, if you're trying to get all of your hair back, just do what you can, because obviously, it can be a real first world problem, and the last thing you want to do is really lose all of your hair a lot earlier than you should. And I'm definitely trying to figure that out right now, because at some point I will eventually get my hair back. and trust me, I will try to do that. Anyways, that's gonna do it. That's just me being honest in regards to my hair loss. Again, I just want to share this because I really don't understand why I'm losing my hair this early, and I really want to try to find a way to really get it all back. So I really like to hear from you. Those that are my age, are you experiencing the same exact thing as I am? And if you are taking any hair loss medication or treatment, how's that work, and which ones are you actually using to be able to get all of your hair back? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll be more interested in hearing your opinions about it, and maybe try it out for myself. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for all my videos, whether it's blogs, projects, or challenges, you name it. Leave it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you're having another great day. And as always, hope to see you all again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.